back. All right, so this is going to be today's topic. It is going to be for March the 3rd. Sorry, March the 2nd. 3/2 of 23. So let's go ahead and let's see what we've got. This maybe will be a fun, different kind of a storytelling, just since it is 3/2/23 for the date. But let's take a look and see where this one takes us, shall we? By the way, you guys, you can always enter to win a free read with me by writing the word compassion in the comment section, being a subscriber to the channel, and giving this video a thumbs up. Those 3 things get you entered to win. I choose a subscriber each week. And I do that just on this series, the Today's Topic series, okay? And then I choose 1 subscriber each week, and I do the free reading at the tail end of one of these videos, okay? So here we go. Oh my. This is a really important one. It's all about creation. It's about, there's like an angelic element of how the angels are watching out and kind of inspiring some of the growth and the change that we see. We've got like the Da Vinci's Vitruvian Man tattooed on the head of this angelic being who is overseeing the creation of a human being. Like the idea of what, here's how I see this. Our highest version of ourself is guiding us to reinvent ourselves into the person that we want to be. Now, right now, this could be a divine masculine whose higher self is giving them the courage to be reborn as the person that they want to be. I look at everything as a metaphor in these stories, and so that's the way I would look at it. I think that we've got a character who is like, they actually believe that they could change the way they've been behaving. They could change the outcome. They could change and become the man or woman that they want to be. I love that. I hope that everyone feels that way. This is somebody who wants to become a King of Pentacles. Awesome. Yes, you can do it. Absolutely, they can do this. This is someone who has so much untapped potential. They want so badly to, maybe they want to be become someone's King of Pentacles. They want to be a stable influence in someone's life. They want to have resources. They want to feel confident. They want to offer. So, wow. And we got the Queen of Pentacles in the reverse. I got to say, if they want to become a King of Pentacles because they're hoping that they can get a Queen of Pentacles to give to them again, she's in the reverse, meaning she ain't given anything. Either they were with a karmic person and they want to become a different version of themselves. They want to grow, even though they, at one point in time might have been in a karmic situation with a partner. I don't think so, though. I think that they want to rebuild themselves into the person, because they want to fight for this. 7 of Wands is how we look at struggles. By the way, if you hear a bunch of grunting, it is because my dog is over there rooting around on the couch. He likes to be with us when we do videos. And this 7 of Wands, to me anyway, says they want to come in and they want to fight for this. You notice it's like King of the Mountain. They're calling in the, electricity from the sky itself and overcoming hurdles. And I think, I want to say one of the hurdles is between themselves and that Queen of Pentacles. Tell me about the issue between these two. We got the Lovers. Yeah, that's what I figured. These two they choose each other. And there's an element of like an Adam and Eve story in this, because we get the apple tree and around here we got the serpent. I feel like there has been love between these two from the very beginning. By the way, Gemini energy coming in with that. These two have always wanted to choose each other. Always. Always. Okay, then let's go to a different deck. And let's talk about the Queen. I was hoping to find I have a duplicate deck and I don't see it right now. Okay, well, hold on. I'm sorry. I'm being very particular right now because I want I want to choose wisely. Oh, there it is. Excellent. Okay. Sorry, I just wasn't ready to surrender it because I really wanted my duplicate deck. Tell me about the Queen of Pentacles. Queen of Pentacles. The Fool card. Look at this. The Queen of Pentacles upright and the Five of Swords. And that explains why I had to get my duplicate deck, right? Because as you can see, we got the Queen of Pentacles twice. Once in the reverse, once in the upright. Okay, so the Queen of Pentacles is out here trying to give to a whole different, like she's in the mood to give. She is taking a leap of faith in her own life. Now, here's the thing. This leap of faith, this is a Queen of Pentacles who has, even though she may not be giving anything to that King of Pentacles that she dealt with once upon a time, not, at least not right now, she's not giving to them. In fact, she is blocking the heck out of them, but she's super giving and super loving toward everyone else. Her heart is not hardened to the idea of love. And this Fool card, this is a Sufi dancer. And so from what I understand, from what I've read, they spin and they spin and they spin because they're mimicking the movement of the planets above. And doing that spinning is like connecting to the planetary movements, and it's an active form of meditation. So this is really somebody who's gotten in touch with their higher self, and they're saying, you know what, I am absolutely a Queen of Wands, or excuse me, a Queen of Pentacles. And you know what? A Queen of Pentacles is very giving. I give to all kinds of different people in my life. Where I don't give at all is to somebody who's a meathead. Somebody who's just a blowhard, somebody who comes in and makes a bunch of noise and wants to get my attention and acts like a fool. I'm not dealing with that. I'm not dealing with a drunken fool. I'm not dealing with a fool, period. I do not suffer fools. So she is very defined in saying, like, I am absolutely ready to give and be soft and be loving, and I will not be giving and soft to this other individual. Okay. Tell me about the King. Prince of Wands in the reverse. Guess what? They're truly a king. They are not coming in. They don't want something from her that is just going to be passion for a hot minute and then run away. Like, this king is like, how do they feel about her? Let me ask it that way. The Moon, Goddess Hecate, they know she is blocking the hell out of them right now. They actually appreciate and admire, like there's so much about her that they don't know, and they know it. She's alluring, she's mysterious. This is Goddess Hecate, which is spelled like he Kate. But the Goddess Hecate is in mythology, she is the one who is a guardian of the crossroads. So she stands there and she blocks incoming and outgoing information. She stands here. She usually has 3 heads. She's heavily associated with dogs. And those 3 heads are so that she can look to the right, she can look to the left, and she looks straight ahead. And she makes sure nobody trespasses. And that what she's blocking is what's exactly behind her. Who gets in, who gets out. We've already seen this Queen of Pentacles is extremely like, I will not tolerate someone that's a fool, someone who's a meathead. On the other hand, yes, I'm loving. Yes, I'm giving. So they basically think she is, there's a ton that they don't know about her because she hasn't let them come back into her life. And they also know that she is somebody who has no problem being like a ferocious protector and death card. They also know something has changed within her. So they are aware that she has basically, she is super loving and she won't give to the old version of them. Who are they today? I mean, we see them as a king. We see them believing in themselves enough to become a king. Star in the reverse, 6 of Swords in the reverse. Who are they today? They may be a king who believes in themselves enough to reinvent themselves. But that is precisely why this whole situation bothers them so dang much. They can't move on from the thought of her. They can't move on because there hasn't been healing. This is their wish fulfillment, and they can't let it go because they didn't get their wish fulfillment. What happened in the past between these two? Ooh, we got a 4 of Pentacles. We got the Justice, and we got the Hierophant. Okay. if there was all kinds of holding back, was there somebody who was still thinking, because the elephant is about memories, did somebody hold back from her because they were still hung up on their past and it was super unfair? There was a need for somebody to grow beyond this. This Hierophant card is not about marriage to me at all, unless it's a marriage of like me, myself, and I. You notice that it's more about elevating to one's highest vibration. I feel like what happened between them is somebody was still holding on to their past, looking back all the time. So they didn't give her the time and attention. That was super unfair. Could have been a Libra, could have been a Taurus, could have been Earth energy, but hi, sweetie pie. But they did not give to this connection. It was super unfair. And they knew this though, but they had to. Hi, you want to come up? You need a hug? Come here, my love. You sweetie pie. Sorry, it's dog o'clock. If you've been on my channel at all, you know there are times when my dog pops in and everything stops. And sorry, I know some people get super angry about that. I'm just not the channel for you. If that bothers you, you can always fast forward this if you need to. But it's just, my rule is when he needs me, he gets me. That's just how I am with any of my people, even though he's my furry people. When something that I consider my own little thing, my person, they come before everything else. So forgive me for the interruption, and I know I could cut this out, but it's real life. It's just what happens. You good? You good, little man? 10 of Pentacles. They really needed to get to a point where they could give equally, and they didn't. They held back so much. Tell me, why was there all this holding back? Why was that? I mean, it was very unfair. Oh, we had the Sun. We had the King of Cups. We had a 10 of Swords in the reverse. So interestingly enough, they actually really did want to. They did want to be with her. They loved her even then, but there was still some ending that had been so painful that they couldn't let go of. They hadn't elevated, and yet they met her and she made them so happy and they loved her, but they couldn't get over the painful ending that they'd had somewhere else. What was that about? Can we see that? 3 of Swords in the reverse. They must have gotten wounded somewhere, and it was almost, this is such a weird one because it's in the reverse. It's like they should have been aware of like, hey, she's not the one who hurt me. That was a different person, a different time of my life. I can be over this now. But for whatever reason, they couldn't. They couldn't let go of someone who wronged them. So even though they loved her and she made them happy, they went ahead and they didn't give to her. They kept looking back at the past person who'd hurt them. And so in turn, how did she feel about that? Actually, we should change decks again. How did she feel about the way they treated her? I mean, for her to block them, that's pretty big. Death card. She said, oh, no, you don't. No, you can't be in my life at all. This is over. I feel like this really hurt her bad. The death card it transformed her. It changed her. It made her stop giving to them. And that's not how she really is. Wow. And it changed her, and it got her stuck in her own head for a while. So their stuck energy, them holding back, made her hurt bad enough that it wrecked something in her for a while. I'm thinking 5 of Pentacles, the Lovers, and the 10 of Swords. Okay, so in her mind, this hurt enough that she stayed stuck for a while. Then it was just devastating. And then she said, they must have chosen somebody other than me. They just put 10 swords in my back. It's just over. So she accepted the ending. And that's why she doesn't want anything to do with them, because it's over with them. It's over. She knows that there was somebody else. Now, what she doesn't know, from what we can tell here, is that there wasn't somebody else. There was a memory of a wound that they had been dealt, and they were living in that, which is as bad as, like, it would be the equivalent of, see, she's highly intuitive. And what I was going to say is this. If we try going out on a date with somebody and we sit down and it's like, yeah, let's have dinner. And the person we're next to goes, and I'm going to order, I'm going to have the steak. And then my ex is going to have the chicken. It would be like, what are you doing ordering a plate of food for your ex while you're out on a date with me? I don't understand. It's the equivalent of that. Like, if somebody holds an ex and the hurt that they were caused in their head and their heart so much while they're trying to start something new with somebody else, they may as well bring that ex right with them. They may as well order food for that ex. They may as well, have a closet full of the ex's clothes. They may as well, like consistently just, they may as well stay with the ex, because they are not ready to be with anybody if that's how they're still behaving. And she picked up on that. She was like, I know that there's somebody else. They might have been, how did they react to that? I mean, because I'm guessing she probably said, oh, you have somebody else. How did they react to that? They said, no, 5 of Cups and the world. They might have said that, I mean, I don't know. Did they ever say anything? Did they just say, oh, I'm so disappointed because I wanted a new beginning with you? I don't know how they handled this, really. There was maybe they tried to explain, no, I'm just super sad, but I'm ready for a new start. I don't think she would have cut them off if they had actually meant it, would be my guess. The Tower and the Ace of Cups in the reverse. No, in her mind, maybe when she said this to them, maybe they were like, oh man, I am really sad still. And, maybe she should just start new with someone else. It might have been that they realized that they were still so broken up over someone that they just were like, oh yeah, she should go have a new life with somebody else. And she's like, and that confirms it. They actually don't love me. This is over. I would have to say, this is such a tough one to interpret. Can we get some clarity on this? Because I feel like there's a lot of speculation going on right now, and I just want to get it cleared up. What is there? How did they really feel about her? How did they really, like, they weren't doing right by her with the Justice card. They weren't really present. So why did they get in her business at all? Because they wanted to slowly get to know her. They slowly wanted to see if they could get to the point where they were ready for a relationship. Why did they think that they had a right to take up her time? Page of Pentacles, they were like, well, I'm interested. I'm giving to this a little bit. But why did they think that they shouldn't have been fully healed before they tried messing with someone? 10 of Pentacles, because they already knew she was their 10 of Pentacles. They met her. They knew that she was the one. And they also knew they weren't ready for her, but they wanted to slowly see. They were using her to, like, because they, not using her maybe exactly, but they knew that she was their 10 of Pentacles, but they weren't really ready to give her equal. They knew that that was unfair also. How do they feel at this point about how they've treated her? The Tower. Wow. They know exactly, like, they messed this up so bad. They are, like, I think now that they're fully healed, they're like stunned at just what a terrible behavior they gave. I think that they're shocked by their own terrible behavior. The Hierophant, yeah. Because now it's like, holy smokes, the universe has schooled me in this also. She's the one that I want to marry. Now it's like full steam ahead. They want her so bad. Okay, how does she feel about this whole situation with them? 7 of Cups. I don't know. I'm just confused about the whole mess. She's just confused about the whole mess. High Priestess again, but she knows something. What is it that she knows? 9 of Pentacles, 8 of Cups. That if they come near me again, I will run for the hills. I will refuse to let them in. I am single and I don't want anything to do with them. So she's pretty adamant she's not having this person back. Why? What's her reasoning on that? Not that she has to give us a reason. I can see a million reasons here, but I just want to see it from her perspective. Six of Pentacles, King of Pentacles, because the only thing she wants is somebody real, someone who's really going to be her king, somebody who can really give equally to her. Now, keep in mind, here's the crazy part. That's who they want to be. We started out with the King of Pentacles, but she's saying, I will absolutely not let them come near me. I will run for the hills if they try to approach me. Remember, she had that Five of Swords. She felt like she had to protect herself from them. Give me another card on that. Page of Swords, Ace of Cups, Six of Wands. There's a part of her that goes, and I bet you they're still watching me, and I'll bet you they're super happy, and I bet you they think that this was all fun and games, and they feel really good about how they treated me. She feels, boy, she did not have a good opinion of them from what I can see. This is an ugly one. Oh boy. She thinks that this person like got off on having her fall in love with them, and that they if they do spy on her, it's to make sure like it makes them feel good or something. That's not a good opinion. Oh, Three of Swords. It's because nobody could have caused that much damage unless they had wanted to. That's her perspective of this. Okay, hold on. We got to stop with the big drama here. This is too much intensity, right? Let's bring it down a couple thousand notches, and let's not, because she doesn't have a right to feel that way, because she does, right? But let's take it down and let's get to something that would be more soothing. Because this is just like reliving hurt right now. And she's not doing that. I want to know where she's at, how she's healed, because it's just when she thinks of them that she's like, oh no. And I mean, granted, I was asking all the questions about like why, and kind of prying into this, this boo-boo that they left. But how has she healed? Minimize guilt. She was chiding herself for being a fool for falling for this person, when she knows all along, is very much like justice. She knows all along that this was unfair and imbalanced. And so if there was guilt on her part, feeling like, why would I have been so stupid to have believed, or fallen for this person and let them get to the point where they could hurt me when I knew they weren't giving me what was fair right out of the gate. But it's like she's had to like let that go and not be mad at herself. Which is interesting because she's not letting up on them at all. She's just like, they weren't ready. They shouldn't have come near me. But I don't need to feel stupid for having fallen for somebody when they clearly weren't ready and all the signs were there. Okay, universe. What's the universe got to say to her? Let's give her some support. Three of Swords. The universe says, darling, you're a freaking warrior. You're also super honorable, because we've got a samurai here. There's the way you've conducted yourself, even in this kind of hurt, has been so admirable. And the amount of brownie points that you've earned karmically for handling yourself with such honor, such dignity, moving on, shutting this person out and moving on. Yes, maybe you had to wear armor to do it, but you rode onward. You let go of this. You moved forward in your life. And that's why you deserve an emperor, because you won't tolerate less than that. That's why you're worthy of the emperor. I'm glad your very action in the face of big betrayal and heartbreak has made you prove yourself worthy of an emperor. And that's, I mean, the universe is basically not saying, oh, I'm so sorry you got hurt, and here's why you didn't really get hurt. The universe is like, yeah, you straight up did. But the way you are, the way you handle that kind of hurt is what makes you the person who gets the best. Why? Because you're the best. You handle yourself like the best. Only the best could have done what you did. 10 of Cups. So you're 10 of Cups. You get the full-on kingdom. Yes, you went through the biggest test that your heart will ever have to go through. Yes, you went through it. And look at how you handled yourself. You're freaking amazing. So you get the full castle. No, you don't just get like a whatever, a boyfriend or a girlfriend that you're going to kind of like cohabitate with. No. Like you get the ultimate relationship and the ultimate, like the full-on castle. her destiny at this point is everything she ever would wish for. She's headed for an amazing relationship. The devil is there, meaning she does, the universe is saying, but you have to let go of that hurt. You handled it well, but right now, if you haven't yet found that emperor and that castle, it's only because you're still chained to a little bit of that. But why did they do that to me? Why were they lost in past memories of somebody who hurt them, and then they tried to get with me? The emperor, or the universe says, sweetheart, you're in danger of doing the same thing unless we course correct right now. Do not hold on to somebody that was toxic and keep thinking about them. Don't bring them to your date with the emperor and order a meal for the ex that isn't there that hurt you. You're going to do a dishonor to the emperor, and that's definitely not what you want to do. And you deserve the best, and the best is right there in front of you as soon as you're ready to receive it. But we don't want you to fumble on that. So let this go. Okay, universe, how does she let this go? How does she let go of that ex? Princess of Cups. There is this is usually a card of like a fresh offer of love. It can also be a card of apology. Maybe she needs to say sorry to her own sweet little heart for letting them get into that hurtful situation. She's forgiven herself, but then there's still this need to be able to, like, I don't think she needs to give them an apology, the person from the past. I think it's about really having this new start in love. She's got to give somebody new a chance, and genuinely give somebody new a chance. Yeah, Princess of Wands, which is the Page of Wands. It's about needing to go into the unknown and have a new spark, kiss a new person, like start a new love, a new romance with someone. Okay, so what does the universe have to say to this king? Because right now, on her side, it doesn't look like she's getting back with this king. We got the King of Pentacles again, King of Sacred Circles. The universe says to this king, excellent. Make yourself a King of Pentacles. Make yourself worthy of her. Make yourself the person that you should have been when you knew her. And then with this Two of Wands, recognize that you have a choice to make about just how much courage do you have. What are you willing to do right now? You want to become that King of Pentacles. Excellent. You absolutely can be. Now, once you become that King of Pentacles, you'll have a big choice to make, which boils down to how much courage you have. What does that mean? What is the universe warning them or not warning them? Queen of Cups. Do they have the courage to go towards someone who doesn't want to see them? The Moon. Knowing full well that they don't know what's going on with her. Do they have the courage to face her, even though they have no clue what will happen? And do they have the courage to then ask or lay out, an offer? Do they have that courage to do that? Because they would have to put themselves on the line without knowing what's going on. Ooh, Seven of Swords. Hold on. The universe is being very harsh on both these characters. Ten of Swords. And do they have the courage to face the fact that she may say it's absolutely over and done? Can they face that, or are they going to lie to themselves and act like I only want to do that if I'm sure that it's not going to be over? Like, do they have the courage to give her the closure, give her the chance to close the door on them? Let me get one more on that Seven of Swords. The Prince of Sacred Circles, the Queen of Swords. Yeah, I really think it's like, do they have the courage to come in, lay down some kind of an offer that is the real deal? Because if they try to come in with some little insignificant offer to try to not exactly express how much they want her, the universe is saying you will absolutely lose her. If you think you can slow walk this, you absolutely will not get anything other than a goodbye from her. So do you have the courage to walk in and tell her absolutely how you feel and risk her telling you goodbye? Because if you come in with anything less than everything, you definitely will get a goodbye. So you can't come in and lie about it, but you also still have to know that whatever you do, it could still be a no-go. But do you have the courage to do that? Because something about that, why would they need to do that? Universe, why would they need to do that? 5 of Sacred Circles. This is an interesting one, but it's like the universe says your karma may be that you have to experience what you put her through. The knowing that you want this person and knowing that this person will not say yes to you. You may have to go through some of that before you can get back together or before you can have the right person. Because as long as there's this karmic imbalance where they held back from someone that they loved, knowing that they loved that person and knowing that they hurt that person to a very deep degree, they still allowed that to play out. And the universe is saying, you need to experience it the way they did before you can fully appreciate why you don't do that to other people. It's just like, someone who like doesn't put down water for their pets or food for their pets, and they're like, oh well, I forgot to give them water and it's 110 degrees today, but they'll just be really miserable by the time I get home from work. No, that person shouldn't be allowed to have pets. That's like, oh, you try going without water for 17 hours. Like, you can't do that. You literally cannot. You can't hurt living creatures. You can't. And the only reason some people do stuff like that is they've never had it sink in that if you put yourself through what you just put them through, think about what that would do to you. And I just feel like that's kind of the example of this. Like, this person has no business getting with anybody until they've actually experienced what they did to somebody else. Because the thing is, in all of this, they always knew it. They knew that they caused her great pain, and they're like, yeah, I guess I am going to hang on to the feeling of the ex. And so, yeah, I'm not going to give to her. So I should probably just let her go and do her own thing or something. And it's like, but it didn't look like they handled this nicely. It looked like they really kind of messed with her, is what I would have said. And I think that's why they can't have anybody until they face her again, and face her where they lay out their heart and they risk her saying no. And I think she will say no. In this storyline, it looks like they're going to get a flat no, and they probably know that. But the universe says, if you ever want this back on track, you actually have to experience what it feels like to be left out in the cold like that, because you still don't have the understanding. You were sad over someone else that it was already over with, and then you went and got with somebody that you wouldn't give to. So you're going to have to deal with that. You're going to have to experience it yourself before you're allowed to have anybody. Okay, this feels like a very 6 of Sacred Circles, 8 of Swords, and the 2 of Cups. And finally, once that karmic like debt, I suppose, has been paid, that's when these two can maybe come into union. That's when they'll be able to give equally. That's where it'll be like, I almost wonder if it's I'm sorry to say it this way, but it's like they have to come toward her knowing full well she'll probably say no, and then they'll have to come toward her one more time. And that's when finally there will be some kind of like understanding between them. It does not look like they just get to pop back into her world. And it doesn't look like this is like a pre-thought out, like I'm going to make them work for it. It doesn't look like she's trying to play any games. It just looks like the universe is saying you deserve an emperor and you deserve the 10 of Cups. As soon as you're no longer hooked up on them, she has to be able to let go of them. And I think in order to do that, she would have to be willing to say, no, I don't want you back. when they do show up, at least the first time, and then they have to experience her saying, no, I don't want you. This is over. And then they have to not give up on it after sitting there alone and actually feeling alone, not being like, oh, well, I guess I lost her. I'll just go find someone else to replace her, or a whole bunch of other people. No, they need to be alone for a while. And then they need to approach again. And it's that point in time where they finally have a chance. So she has to get over them. They have to basically not get over her, and they actually have to understand that this is important, and that's why they're still not over it, and that's why they're not just going to go out, okay, well, she said no, so I'll just go find me somebody else to mess around with. They actually have to love somebody enough that they wouldn't be okay substituting her with someone else. She has to be over them enough to let them go and really mean it, because she's not going to have somebody that just yo-yos back into her life. It's basically like the intensity of like how much do these two really care about, being treated well and really having the love of a lifetime. Because if they don't really want it enough, it's never going to work. This has to, if they're really the Two of Cups, they're going to have to prove how much they mean to each other. And in this storyline, it definitely looks pretty heavy. Like, I hate to tell stories where like one person comes across as a villain, but that's basically like, that's how I feel like we've depicted this, this King of Pentacles a little bit, because they kind of like knowingly hurt someone that they loved. And then they want that person still, but the universe is like, you don't just get them back. You can't just have them back. You got things that you got to fix. And you got to first understand what it feels like to not have anybody beside you, possibly during like a really tough time of life. So I don't know, maybe this whole thing played out during a really difficult phase of life, and the fact that they would have, abandoned her or something during a time when like, there was great need for partnership, or great need for someone to, like an act of love means we have concern and caring for a person. And if they didn't display that, even though they supposedly did love her, but they were just like, oh, whatever, I'll just let her go. I feel like that's why they have to be totally alone themselves and missing her before they can fully comprehend what it feels like to face, the ups and downs of life by yourself. And I don't know if I've explained that very well, because this feels like one of the kinds of stories that I don't like to tell, where it's kind of like karma, like shame. And I don't like those kinds of stories only because I don't ever read vindictive. But this one had elements of like somebody learning a really tough lesson, and they can't get back together with a person unless they can learn that lesson and learn what it felt like, and learn what it, at an intimate level, what that was like for the other person. So anyway, I'm going to leave that there for what it's worth. It is what it is. Every story is different. I never know what to expect. It's all for entertainment and interesting new food for thought. Please do remember, these are fictional stories. They are not about anybody real. I don't tell you how to think, how to live, what's going to happen. None of those things. This is all entertainment. Although admittedly, this one was like some pretty heavy entertainment for those characters. They went through some heavy stuff. All right, I'm going to leave that there. Maybe put a trigger warning on this one because it is heavy. But take care, guys, and maybe we'll get a lighter one tomorrow. Bye.